Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Alien Tales, and please ensure that you have subscribed.
We keep living the same day together. Only I remember our previous attempts. She triggered a temporal loop when her ship crashed. I'm the only one aware we've lived this day 137 times. And in every version, I fail to save her. The chronometer reads 7 hours, 14 minutes, and 23 seconds when I wake, and my heart sinks. Not because of the time, though I've memorized every digit, but because of what it means. Day 138. The metal taste in my mouth confirms it. That peculiar aftertaste that lingers from temporal displacement. Outside my porthole, Kepler 442b's twin suns cast their familiar amber glow across the research station's hull. Zara will knock on my door in exactly 4 minutes and 17 seconds. She'll smile that crooked smile, the one that makes her left dimple deeper than her right, and ask if I want to join her morning survey of the nebular fragments. I've heard those exact words 137 times now. I roll out of my bunk and press my palm against the cool titanium wall. In 11 hours, 42 minutes, and 15 seconds, her ship will malfunction during atmospheric entry. The quantum drive will overload, creating a localized temporal distortion that traps us both in this single rotation of our lonely planet. She'll die at 18 hours, 56 minutes, and 41 seconds, her ship consumed by stellar fire. And then we'll wake up here again. I've tried everything. Sabotaging her ship, restraining her, confessing my feelings, even destroying the entire research station. Nothing works. The loop resets, erasing all evidence except my memories. The knock comes right on schedule. "Morning, Nolan," Zara says, leaning against my doorframe. She's wearing the same burgundy jumpsuit, hair pulled back in that messy bun with 3 strands framing her face. "Want to help me catalog some stellar debris? I found traces of exotic matter yesterday. If only she knew. Coffee first, I suggest, though I know she'll agree. We always end up in the station's observation lounge, sharing synthesized caffeine and watching cosmic dust dance outside the reinforced windows. She nods enthusiastically. You read my mind. We walk the familiar corridors, past the humming life support systems and flickering holo displays. I could navigate these passages blindfolded now. 23 steps to the first junction, 17 more to the lounge. You seem distracted lately, Zara observes, settling into her usual chair, the one with the small tear in the left armrest. Everything okay? How do I explain that lately encompasses nearly 5 months of repeated conversations? That I've memorized every inflection in her voice, every gesture, every way the light catches the gold flecks in her brown eyes? Just thinking about temporal mechanics, I say instead. She laughs, that musical sound that breaks my heart daily. You and your theoretical physics. Sometimes I think you'd rather live in equations than reality. Nolan, look at this. Her voice carries that infectious excitement I've learned to dread. She's hunched over her workstation, fingers dancing across holographic displays showing spectral analyses of the debris field. The exotic matter readings are off the charts, quantum signatures unlike anything in our databases. In previous loops, I've tried hiding her research, corrupting the data, even breaking her equipment. The universe always finds a way to guide her to this moment. These particles, she whispers, eyes wide with wonder. They're not just exotic, they're temporally displaced, as if they've existed in multiple timeline states simultaneously. I know what comes next. The realization that the debris isn't natural, that something catastrophic happened here, something that left echoes across space-time itself. She'll theorize about temporal anomalies, about ships lost between dimensions. What if, she continues, leaning back in her chair, what if we could study this phenomenon firsthand? My ship's quantum sensors could penetrate the distortion field. That's incredibly dangerous. I say, the same words I've spoken 137 times. Unknown temporal effects, gravitational shear forces. But imagine what we could learn. Her eyes shine with that dangerous curiosity. We could unlock secrets of time itself, Nolan. Isn't that worth some risk? Every time I fail to dissuade her. By midday, Zara's obsession consumes her completely. She spends hours calibrating her ship sensors, running diagnostics on the quantum drive, preparing for what she believes will be humanity's greatest scientific discovery. I try different approaches each loop. Sometimes I'm supportive, hoping to influence her methodology. Other times I'm antagonistic, attempting to make her angry enough to postpone the mission. I've tried confessing my love, proposing marriage, even faking medical emergencies. Nothing changes her mind. The temporal distortions are stronger near the planet's magnetosphere, she explains, showing me readings I've seen countless times. If I can position my ship at the exact convergence point when the fields align, I watch her plan her own death with scientific precision. She's brilliant, methodical, beautiful in her dedication to discovery, and utterly doomed. What if the loop is trying to tell us something? I asked once in loop 89. What if we're not supposed to interfere? She'd laughed. You sound like my grandmother, talking about fate and destiny. Science doesn't work that way, Nolan. We observe, we hypothesize, we test. Today I try a different tactic. I have a bad feeling about this mission. She pauses, stylus hovering over her calculations. Since when do you trust feelings over data? Since I started caring more about you than temporal mechanics. The words slip out before I can stop them, and something shifts in Zara's expression. She sets down her stylus and really looks at me for the first time today. Nolan, she says softly. I didn't know you felt. This is new territory. In most loops, I'm too afraid to be vulnerable. But watching someone you love die 137 times changes your perspective on risk. I felt this way for months, I admit. Maybe longer. I just never found the courage to tell you. She's quiet for a long moment, studying my face. The station hums around us, life support systems cycling, computers processing endless streams of data. Normal sounds of normal life. If anything about our situation could be called normal. I care about you too, she finally says. More than I probably should. Given our working relationship, my heart races. This is the furthest we've ever gotten. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe love can break what science cannot. Then don't go, I plead. Stay here with me. We can study the debris remotely, run simulations. You know I can't do that. Her smile is sad but determined. This discovery could change everything, Nolan. How can I ignore that responsibility? Because you'll die, I want to scream. Because I've watched it happen over and over, and I can't bear to lose you again. At 17 hours, 23 minutes, and 15 seconds, Zara begins her pre-flight checklist. Her ship, the Meridian, sits in the station's docking bay like a silver teardrop, its hull gleaming under artificial lights. She's painted small stars along the nose cone. A personal touch that always makes me smile despite everything. I know every step of her routine. Environmental systems check. Navigation array calibration. Quantum drive initialization. She moves with practiced efficiency. A dancer performing choreography she's perfected over years of solo missions. Final systems check complete. She announces over the comm, all readings nominal. Nominal. If only she knew how far from normal this situation really is. I stand in the observation deck, watching through reinforced transparisteel as she seals herself into the cockpit. In previous loops, I've tried everything from declaring emergencies to manually overriding the bay doors. The station's AI always finds ways to circumvent my interference. Nolan, her voice crackles through the speakers. I know you're worried, but I'm good at this, remember? I've logged over 10,000 flight hours. I know, I say, pressing my palm against the cold window. Just be careful out there. She activates the Meridian's engines and blue-white plasma streams from the thrusters. The ship rises gracefully from its berth, rotating to face the bay doors. Soon she'll be among the stars, racing toward her appointment with destiny. See you in a few hours, she says. If only that were true. I track the Meridian on long-range sensors as it approaches the debris field. Zara's voice filters through the comm system, professional and excited as she reports her findings. Temporal distortions are increasing exponentially, she says. The quantum resonance patterns are unlike anything in the literature. Nolan, I think we're looking at evidence of a naturally occurring time loop. The irony is bitter. She's discovering the trap that will kill her, marveling at the very phenomenon that holds us both prisoner. Zara, Please reconsider. I transmit. The readings are too volatile. We can study this from a safe distance. Negative. I'm getting incredible data here. The temporal field seems to respond to specific quantum frequencies. If I can modulate the drive harmonics, this is always when things go wrong. Her scientific curiosity overrides her survival instincts. She pushes deeper into the anomaly, chasing readings that grow more unstable by the minute. On loop 74, I tried cutting communications, hoping to eliminate distractions. It didn't help. On loop 103, I transmitted false data to make the readings appear normal. She saw through the deception immediately. Approaching optimal sensor range, she reports. Beginning deep scan sequence. Through the observation deck's telescope, I can see her ship as a tiny point of light against the cosmic darkness. She's 2.7 million kilometers away, but I feel her presence like a physical weight in my chest. 15 minutes until disaster. At 18 hours 41 minutes and 7 seconds, the Meridian's quantum drive begins its fatal cascade failure. I've studied the telemetry from previous loops, analyzed every nanosecond of data. The exotic matter in the debris field creates a resonance feedback loop that overwhelms the drive's containment systems. Nolan, I'm seeing some unusual readings here. Zara's voice carries the first hint of concern. Drive temperature is climbing beyond normal parameters. I grip the console, knuckles white. Shut it down, Zara. Emergency protocols now. I'm trying, but the system isn't responding. The quantum field is creating some kind of interference with my controls. In the early loops, I panicked during these final minutes. I screamed, begged, made promises to gods I don't believe in. Now I force myself to stay calm, to be the steady voice she needs in her final moments. Route power through the auxiliary systems, I instruct. Try manual override on the containment field. Working on it. Nolan, the temporal readings are off the charts. Whatever's happening, it's affecting space-time itself. The Meridian begins to shake as quantum forces tear at its hull. Through the telescope, I can see energy discharges crackling around her ship like blue lightning. Beautiful and terrible. I'm losing containment, she shouts over increasing static. The drive is going critical. 47 seconds until the explosion. 46. 45. I close my eyes and count down to the moment when my world ends again. The Meridian dies in silence. No sound crosses the vacuum between us. One moment Zara's ship is there, wreathed in quantum fire, and the next it's gone, consumed by forces beyond human comprehension. The temporal shockwave hits our station 3 seconds later. Reality ripples like water, and I feel the familiar sensation of time folding in on itself. My consciousness stretches across impossible dimensions, experiencing past and future simultaneously. In that timeless moment, I see Zara as she was, brilliant, curious, alive. I see her in the debris field, making her discovery. I see her as a child dreaming of stars. I see her as she might have been, growing old beside me in some other timeline where I found a way to save her. The wave passes, and darkness takes me. Then I wake to the chronometer reading 7 hours 14 minutes and 23 seconds, and my heart breaks again. The metal taste floods my mouth, temporal displacement echoing through my cells. Outside the porthole, Kepler 442b's twin suns cast their eternal amber light. Loop 139. I lie in my bunk for long minutes, staring at the ceiling. How many more times will I watch her die? How many mornings will I wake knowing exactly what the day will bring? The universe has made me immortal in the cruelest way possible, eternal life without the person who makes it worth living. But then I hear footsteps in the corridor, and something inside me stirs. Hope, maybe, or just stubborn human refusal to surrender. 4 minutes and 17 seconds until she knocks. When Zara knocks on my door, I'm ready with a different approach. "Morning, Nolan," she says, leaning against the doorframe in her burgundy jumpsuit. "Want to help me catalog some stellar debris? I found traces of exotic matter yesterday. Actually, I say, stepping into the corridor, I have something more interesting to show you." Her eyebrows rise. "More interesting than exotic matter?" I lead her to my quarter's personal workspace, where I've spent the last few loops preparing. Holographic displays show temporal mathematics that shouldn't exist for another century. Equations that describe the exact nature of our prison. These are the calculations for a closed time-like curve, I explain. A temporal loop caused by exotic matter interactions with quantum drive resonance frequencies. She stares at the data, and I watch understanding dawn in her eyes. This is... How did you develop this theory? Because we're living in one Zara. Today will repeat exactly as it has 138 times before. You'll discover exotic matter, plan a mission to study it, and die when your ship's drive overloads. She steps back, shaking her head. That's impossible. Your ship is the Meridian. You painted stars on the nose cone. At 9 hours, 47 minutes, and 12 seconds, you'll make your breakthrough discovery. You'll say, these particles aren't just exotic. They're temporally displaced. The color drains from her face as I repeat her exact words from countless loops. I don't know why I remember when you don't. I continue. But I know I love you, and I know I can't watch you die again. For the first time in 139 loops, Zara doesn't go to her workstation. Instead, she stays with me, studying temporal mechanics, searching for a way to break free. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe love really can conquer time.